Hello, I'm Rachel from Douentza Garden in Ireland, and you are very welcome to my garden here in late February. Now today I'm going to talk about snapdragons, that wonderful annual that we all so love to grow. Well, what have I told you? That you can get at least 4 snapdragons from each seed, probably 6. Don't believe me? Well, stay tuned. In late February, many gardeners' minds and thoughts turn to annual plants, and snapdragons are a fantastic one that can just brighten up your garden and fill in all those spaces that somehow manage to pop up. Now, snapdragons aren't technically an annual, but in my part of the world we certainly grow them as one. Well, what have I told you? That you can get more from each seed. And this is really good news because the seeds of particular cultivars can actually cost quite a lot of money. So, for example, Madam Butterfly Red, which is this plant here in front of me, one packet may hold, 20, 50 seeds. It mightn't be enough. But I'm here to tell you that you can get a lot more from each seed than just one plant. You can get at least 4, and with a little forethought and planning, maybe even 6 or 8. So we're going to run through it all right here, right now. Now, as you can see, I have a number of snapdragons that are already forming sturdy plants, and these ones here are ones that I started last July, the 31st of July. And they have spent the winter in the greenhouse. Whereas these ones over here were made from pinchings of these original plants on the 21st of October last year. And look, they're almost the same size as the parent plant, as the original cultivars. Now, pinching out is a tried and tested technique that many gardeners carry out with many annual plants. And if you pinch out, what will happen is that the original plant will send up 2 shoots instead of the one that you've cut off, and therefore make a bushier plant. And if you don't do anything, if you just leave your plant to grow, you'll probably get something like this. So we have tall, thin stems that just go up, and they'll eventually flower at the top. But how much better to have a bushier plant where you could have 2 stems instead of 1, or 3 or 4 stems instead of 1, and therefore more flowers. And we're all about more flowers. However, pinching out should not stop just there with snapdragons, because the pinchings you can use to make more plants. This is the original plant that I sowed on the 31st of July, and then on the 21st of October last year I cut it just there. Can you see where the stem has been removed? And the result of that was that this plant sent up this side shoot here and here. And just for good measure, this one has also sent up another shoot here. I'm not quite sure if that is as a result of the pinching out or just if the plant was going to do it anyway. But certainly this 2 stems as opposed to 1 is a direct result of pinching out. So what happened with the central stem? Well, I'll show you exactly what happened, because these plants over here are the central stems from my pinchings out. And you can see how well they've done. They were cut in late October, just plunged into this mix and kept in a sealed container just to make sure that the moisture was trapped in. And the result is these beautiful, beautiful plants that can themselves now be pinched out again. So can you imagine that this box here is where I put all of my cuttings in October, and I put the lid on just to keep the moisture in, but now they're far too tall to be kept in there. Incidentally, in the same box, I also have my heucheras, which you saw me propagate last autumn, doing so well and already established with sturdy roots. I cut these plants in October, but I've also done it in deadly winter on plants that were kept in a greenhouse. So not outdoors where they're going to be splattered with rain, but in a greenhouse, and they struck no problem at all. One of the best things about propagating snapdragons is the success rate. I have had 100% success rate this time round and in previous times when I've propagated snapdragons. Now in this box here you'll see one shriveled little snapdragon, but this didn't happen because it failed to create roots. This happened because it didn't get watered properly. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to re-propagate the original plant, and I'm going to propagate the cuttings that I took last October. And as you can see here, this original plant has 2 stems. So I'm going to propagate this one and this one. And it actually has a 3rd stem over here. They don't all have 3rd stems, but yeah, I'm going to propagate that one here. So I will then also propagate one of these one time. So first up, I'm going to do the easy one and propagate the cuttings. I don't want to cut them too close to the soil. I want to leave enough of the plant behind so that it can establish well. And conventionally what we would do is count up 2 pairs of leaves from the base. So that one's just kind of a wimpy little branch. We'll count this as 1 pair of leaf. This is the 2nd pair of leaf, and then I could cut anywhere here. Normally we just cut directly over the leaves. There we go. 1, 2, well, let's go up here. Here, here, and above a pair of leaves is a good place. And I've prepared some little seed trays to put my cuttings into. Now the mix I'm using, it's seed compost or seed mix, but the stuff that we're getting this year seems so lumpy. I've added a little bit of sand into it and even sifted some of the bigger lumps out. I'm just going to make some holes in the mix so that I don't bend the stems of my cuttings when I insert them in here. And now I'm going to prepare my cutting. I'm going to remove the lower leaves because I don't want them to be buried underneath the soil. If they are, then they may rot. Now, conventionally with cuttings, you would cut underneath a set of leaves before inserting in the soil, but it doesn't seem to matter with the snapdragons. And I'm just going to put that in like that and just firm the soil around it. So let's see that again with this 2nd one. Move it here. In we go. Now if you want, you can remove some of the lower leaves just to give the plant the better chance to kind of keep hydrated while it is establishing roots, but it doesn't seem to be very necessary. This one is particularly long. Ooh, I feel tempted somehow to cut it in 2 and try it as 2 cuttings, but we won't be greedy. No, we won't be greedy. And I will give them some water. Last October when I made the cuttings, there was a small batch that didn't get watered straight away. And when I came back the next day and saw them, they were all droopy, and I thought, oh no, these cuttings don't even have roots. That's them gone for sure. But I watered them anyway, and lo and behold, they perked up and they were fine. So these are robust plants that do well from cuttings. Give it a try. Next up we have the original plant, and as I mentioned before, I am going to take 3 cuttings from this. So the first one is from here, and so again counting up 2 sets of leaves, and I will chop this off here. With this one here, 1 set, 2 sets of leaves. And I actually go 1 higher because, well, I'm getting very tall cuttings here. And then finally, this little baby here, this one is going to be quite small because, as you can see, we've got 1 set of leaves. This is actually, well, 1 and a bit. We've got the second set of leaves, so we're going to cut just above that. And we actually have a quite small piece, but normally, and I think in October when I did my cuttings, they were about this size. This is normal size. I'll tell you what, let's live dangerously. This is a very tall cutting. Let's cut it in half and see if both pieces take. I've never tried before with the middle piece, but we're going to cut it here above the second set of leaves. And now we have 2. This is just mad. Look, we've got 1 cutting, 2, 3, 4, 5, the original plant. 6 is 1 of these, so this was the cutting taken in October. And then 7. This is the cutting from the cutting taken in October. 7 plants isn't bad from 1 seed. We are going to put these 4 bits in here. There we go, dib, dib, dib. This, well, let's take these off, I think. So that's the middle bit. Now, I do wonder if these are thinking about flowering, which wouldn't be a good thing and wouldn't augur well for the plant producing roots. But we shall see. And then finally this one, and that's the wimpy one from the side shoot. Okay, I'm going to keep this little tray separate so that we know if my experiment worked out. And then finally, all of these cuttings without roots are going into this airtight box, which they've been watered once. The lid will be put on, and then I'll just check them occasionally to make sure they have enough moisture to keep going. And of course, it's only February, so these have plenty of time to grow tall and be ready for being put out in the garden when danger of frost has passed, which is the beginning of June in my case. Okay, that's it. It's now started to rain. Surprise, surprise. My camera is getting wet. I'm getting wet. And, well, I suppose the good news is that all the cuttings are going to be well hydrated before they go into their box and back in the greenhouse. Thank you as always for watching. I hope you found this video useful, and if you're interested in getting more from seeds, I do encourage you to check out my Cosmos video from roughly this time last year. It was actually nominated and was shortlisted for an award, which unfortunately it didn't win, but it's a good video, it's a good tip. Do check it out. I'll link at the end of this video and in the description down below. That's all for me. Getting very soggy out here, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.